Good morning, David.
Good morning. All the early birds are up today.
Yep. I hope you got more sleep than you did on Monday.
I did. Hey, you saw that my corrected DSNP list that I sent out after I had gotten sleep and went back and reviewed all that. I was like, oh, okay, there's some things I need to change. So I sent a corrected one out yesterday.
Yeah, I saw it. I just didn't compare anything. I just had
Yeah.
yesterday was all the day. I think I must have gotten about 10 people calling me for appointments. So
Yeah, I see the schedule is filling up both in Oak Harbor and in Coopville. So booking into November already, the middle of November.
that's not good.
Yeah, I think we're just going to get slammed. But the last half of November looks really good for me.
Well, I wonder why.
I'll be in Hawaii.
Don't you have about a 3-week appointment with Carol?
Yes, I do. Yeah. I'll put it in stars for you.
Good morning.
Good
Eh,
morning.
It's so nice to see everybody. I'm just looking at everybody who's actually joined already. We'll give it a few minutes. I don't know if Tim has joined yet. Doesn't look like it.
Knowing how lady works during open enrollment at times, I just I was I would
Yeah,
give him permission to come in a little bit late.
yeah. I think we could probably say the same thing about you, Annette.
Oh, I don't know.
Well, it's lovely to see everybody. Love to see these names. And I am very sure Tim will be joining us shortly. Is anybody here? Was anybody on yesterday? I know Susie was.
I was here yesterday and just
Yeah,
seeing what's new, I guess, and reinforcing what I'm hearing.
I think that's really smart, Doug.
Does that make
Um,
this a remedial town hall?
it, it is not at all. I think the thing to know is Tim kind of flows like a river, and he goes where the conversation leads him. So he has his set pieces, but everything else around that can change. So whenever we have these town halls, and those are quarterly, I always recommend, if you can go to more than one, do, because you'll never know if there's another question that someone asked that you didn't even know you had yet.
This is Connie. So I have a question, and that is, I can only attend this one because we're doing a lot of presentations. Do they record these, or is there a transcript or anything that's available for the others?
Yes and yes. We
Okay.
are recording them thanks to Susie Tegman. And as soon as we get the recordings from all three of them, I will load them onto our YouTube channel. And I'll try to grab the link for the YouTube channel right now,
Thank you so much.
just so you know where that's going to live. Bear with me for just a second. And it's a very long, it's a very long link. Okay.
Can you also send that out to us in an email so it's easier for us to copy it?
Yes, definitely. And Susie might be able to help me find something that's a little bit shorter than that massive link that I shared in the chat. But yes, we do have that YouTube channel specifically for all of the training videos. So I've divided it into different playlists. So we have, the Medicare open enrollment prep and lunch and learns and continuing education and some basic training information. Senior Medicare Patrol. So let's see if I just wish I could.
Kendra, when I click on that link, it takes me to a page that says you don't have permission to view this page.
You know what I just realized? I am signed in as the person that can add videos there. So I'm going to sign out and then I'm going to try it again. So I'm going to do SHIBA. Let's just try that.
Good morning, everyone. It looks like Tim's on the call here. So Tim, Kendra's just letting everyone know that these sessions are recorded. They will be uploaded to our YouTube channel. And there was a request to also have these recordings emailed out.
Good morning. We can do that. Apologies for being late. I'm joining you from beautiful Longview, Washington, a little internet connectivity this morning. But thanks, Tanya. Excuse me. Thanks, Kendra. And I got a note from Tamra. I got lots of notes. But I'm ready to go. Sorry, just a little glitchy thing there. We're going to be a small group maybe today, or at least to start out with. I'm just scanning names. Many of you are off camera. Just give me a second. Larry Cole, what have you done with your screen name, my friend? You don't know. And you're bundled up against the weather. It's only the first week of autumn.
Well, sometimes early in the morning, and this is early in the morning for me. Maybe you too.
Well, I've been awake. It just didn't occur to me to test the connection. It worked last night, so apologies again for a slow start this morning. I'm just scanning to see who we've got. I think what we're going to do is just a quick round of introductions here. Larry, since I've called on you, why don't you tell people who you are and what you do, please?
Sure. Name is Larry Cole, and I think that might be some kind of a Google connection. I don't know. At any LG Cole. Yeah, I'm with King County SHIBA. Work with Solid Ground. Been a SHIBA volunteer for about 7 years and love it.
And Larry has the unique distinction that his mother was a SHIBA volunteer.
True, true, true.
I can't think of another volunteer that I can say that about. Good morning, David. Would you like to be next?
There we go. Good morning, everybody. I'm Dave Sharp. I'm up in Island County on Whidbey Island. Been a Shibaneer for a little over a year now, maybe about a year and a half. And my specialty is the veterans connection, Veterans Medicare, and kind of leading the at the moment unofficial Veterans Medicare Specialist program.
We're doing it unofficially. Apologies, I'm also working on a cold a little bit here. Why don't we stay on Whidbey Island for a second? Annette Barco, would you like to say good morning?
Good morning. I'm Annette Barca. I'm the volunteer coordinator for Whidbey Island's team. And we had the pleasure of having Tim and Shannon up with us on Monday. Well, we went through our get ready for open enrollment celebration and honored one of our volunteers.
It was lovely to see you as always. I took home hardy fuchsia, so Stephanie's very happy to have a plant from your garden.
Great. And I've been a volunteer for just a little over 20 years.
You have a lot of longevity in that. That is a big commitment. Pardon me. Jasmine Chow, would you like to say good morning?
Good morning, everybody. My name is Jasmine. I'm from the King County SHIBA from CIC, and good to see everybody here today.
Thank you. So Jasmine is our SHIBA coordinator over there at Chinese Information Service Center, CISC. Inna, you have your hand raised.
Yes. Do you hear me?
Yes.
My name is Inna Mad. I am a volunteer, a greeny one. I just joined the movement in May. I'm still learning, still going through my observation sessions. And I'm still getting used to the idea that this is a huge responsibility and I have to follow the schedule. I shouldn't wait for reminders to do this and that. It's hard after not being on schedule and on not having to meet any deadlines for a long time. I have to relearn again. That's all.
Excellent. Well, I think that's a lovely introduction. You know, for me, although we're not paying you, obviously, right, to be volunteers, nonetheless, I feel like that you're still professionals. You just happen to be unpaid professionals. And we have lots of conversations in our team. Kendra and I had one of these conversations yesterday about it's very important to us to hold high standards for our volunteer coordinators and our network. You know, we're really holding you out to the public as being as good as or better than talking to a paid staff person. So if you haven't heard this already, that comes up. People will say, oh, it seems like a nice idea to talk to a volunteer, but could I talk to a paid staff person? No, you could talk to a volunteer because they're excellent and you're going to get great service. So I think that in your introduction, you've highlighted some of the things that are really, really important about
This is
work.
a challenge. This is a challenge, but I'm working on overcoming it.
And I appreciate that. And I think it's going to be a challenge every day for as long as you keep doing it, right, Annette Barca? It's as challenging today as it was 20 years ago.
Oh, I think it's actually more challenging because one, there are more options and plans for people. And two, more people know about us and the word spreads and the problems seem to get more creative and more challenging as to we find out what a lot of our seniors are living with and trying to survive through.
I think that that's really fair. I have a couple of more folks that are staff leaders in the virtual room today. Dave Alders, would you like to say good morning?
I'll say good morning. It's early yet, but good morning. Yeah, I'm with Olympic Area Agency on Aging, and I'm in the Aberdeen office, and I've been doing this SHIBA thing for 23 years.
And thank you for
It's
that.
kind of like you got to learn new stuff and talk. And it made me think about it. Then we got to unthink things, learn things.
Yes.
So you get these oh crap moments, and you gotta get damn. So you gotta know what you're doing. You gotta be in the game all the time. So that's just part of how it works.
It is. It is. So for newer people like Ina and Anita, I hope you're hearing a steady drumbeat here that it takes a long time to learn it, and even when you've developed a sense of mastery, you're going to be surprised every day by something that. But you know, to me, that's the joy of it. You know, when we talk about recruiting people for the work, I think we shouldn't downplay that. I think that's a feature, not a bug, right, of the system. I think that's a good thing.
He'd mentioned some time ago about going back to the old roots of the original group of people that started this effort. And it was the way I look at it, I didn't talk to any of them, but here's a bunch of people that had some skill sets that, and they heard people having problems figuring things out, and their skill sets let them into answering those, trying to figure it out questions. And that's the essence of what it is that we're doing still, no matter what, is trying to, so because we don't have a standardized healthcare system, and things change and get blown up all the time, and you can figure out where things came from and what's going on with the plans and stuff like that. And the SHIBA office training helps us still be that independent person and help folks in our community answer those questions.
I'm going
I
to add
appreciate
that
Thank you.
I had the honor of being mentored for about a year by one of the original creators of SHIBA, Ethel Waters, who lived in Langley on Whidbey Island, and what a fabulous lady she and her friends were as they put together and created and then convinced the insurance commissioner that this might work.
Yep.
And I know she talked about saying it might work. Well, I think it is working.
It's working pretty good. I mean, we still have, there's still room to grow, right? Ethel moved to Oregon maybe almost 2 years ago now, right?
Ethel?
No, that's Joan that moved. Sorry.
That's Joni. Yeah, Ethel passed away
I'm
about
thinking of Joni.
about 12, 15 years ago.
Yes. Thank you. So another longtime person, my friend Don Berg is here. Don, we have not talked in a long time. How are you?
See if I can get my microphone working. Hi, Tim. How you doing?
I'm good, thank you.
Yeah, I've relocated from King County down to Pierce County now, and relearning everything. I've been doing SHIBA not quite as long as some of the people that have introduced themselves, but I feel like a newbie.
Well, that's a good, there in Zen we have this expression beginner's mind, right? So I think keep cultivating beginner's mind, Don. Don, besides being a very skilled counselor, is also an excellent presenter. He does lots of public presentations for us, and I've had the pleasure to sit in on a couple of the programs that you've done, Don. And I'm excited that even with the relocation, you're back. I had heard that from Sam, but I had not had a chance to reach out to you yet. So welcome back.
Thank you.
My friend Michelle Wright is here. Michelle, do you want to say good morning all the way from Spokane?
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. I'm with Aging and Long-Term Care of Eastern Washington, and I'm also an in-kind partner for SHIBA.
We call you guys Alt-Q. Michelle, you can be my witness. The last time that I was with you, I had a slightly bait my stomach upset moment. We were in this big meeting room with a whole bunch of volunteers, right, from Alt-Q. So we have the Matter of Balance people, the SHIBA people, the volunteer drivers, and Monica, who's our volunteer coordinator, stands up in front of the room and she does her, SHIBA pep talk. And she says, okay, so how many of you know when the Medicare open enrollment period is? And only SHIBA volunteers raised their hand. And I looked around the room and I said, what the heck? Do you remember that?
I do.
Oh, that was not my favorite. I thought, gosh, we have a lot of work to do right here in River City.
Now, I'm getting ready for open enrollment for Medicaid too, which is next month.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. And you do a ton of counseling. You're very modest, but you do a ton of counseling, especially for our so-called MIPA clients.
Well, yeah, and that's mainly what I do. But I think I'll be helping doing the counseling this year too. If Monica needs the help, I'll be jumping in for that.
We appreciate that. My personal forecast is it's going to be an all hands exercise this year.
It sounds like it.
And here's my friend Shelley Agan. Shelley, how are you? Good morning.
I'm good, thank you. I'm Shelley Agan. I work for Northwest Regional Council. We're the agency area on aging here in Skagit County. I've been here, it'll be 10 years. And we partner with SHIBA and do some SHIBA counseling, and we're gearing up for open enrollment as well.
I'm going to see you maybe on the 28th. We're going to go over to see our friends at the Sauk Saddle Tribe, kind of our annual tradition with you and me.
Yes, I'm looking forward to it.
I'm looking forward to it as well. So, so Shelley and Michelle both work at sponsor organizations that are also area agencies on aging. And so kind of a full service, older adults, people with disabilities. And so Shelley and I kind of like the ham and eggs thing is she does like the institutional care and alternatives to institutional care. And then I do the kind of traditional Medicare stuff. So between us, we can cover most of the waterfront. And yeah, it's great to see you, Shelley. Thanks for being here. Shelley's outfit actually does Whatcom County, Skagit County, Island County, and San Juan County, but Shelley kind of specializes in Skagit. So great to see you. And our friend James is also here from the Northwest Regional Council. Good morning, James.
Good morning, everyone. I'm James, and like Tim just noted, I'm from the Northwest Regional Council Area Agency on Aging, Northwest, where we are a SHIBA partner. And I've been with NWRC in their Aging and Disability Resources Department for about 8.5 years. I've been with the agency for about 10.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Yeah, great. We love having you guys here. We really appreciate it a lot. And we'll just kind of stay up there in the Northwest Kingdom, as I call it. And your screen name is MIKYN, Miken, and you say BSAC, Bellingham Senior Activity Center. Good morning. We call you the Whatcom Council on Aging, but you guys call yourselves the Bellingham Senior Activity Center. Occupational hazard here. Finding that button. Can't unmute. Okay, well, you can chat. Chatting's good. Chatting's the modern way. Maybe tell us how you want me to refer to you on screen, at least. I don't believe that we've met, and if we have, I apologize, I don't remember. I'm going to go out on a limb here and guess that you are our newly hired volunteer coordinator behind Jean, and you work with my good friend Chris Orr. Yep, that's a thumbs up. Mike, and thank you. Lovely to meet you. Welcome here. Thanks for joining us. Diane Britt, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. I'm fine. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you. Feeling well. I'm going to Kath Lamet this morning.
Oh, nice.
Haven't
Yeah.
been there many years, several years.
That's good. That's good. Are you going to be at Horizon House this year?
I am. I am going to be at Horizon House. I owe Sam a presentation. Do you want to tell people a little bit about you?
I have been doing, this will be my third open enrollment, so I haven't been doing this very long. I'm in King County.
You retired from a nursing profession?
Yes, I am a retired nurse practitioner, which comes in very handy doing those drug plan reviews, as I can spell them.
Yes. And if you don't know, if you Horizon House is what we refer to as a congregate care retirement community, CCRC. They're in Seattle, and we have an annual tradition. Typically, it's the insurance commissioner and I go up and do a presentation. And last year we started on a Saturday doing program for residents who need help with counseling. And between Diane and I and a handful of other King County volunteers, I think we probably helped like 30 people on that Saturday. It was a busy day. So thanks for signing up again. I appreciate that. So staying in King County, I have a couple of King County volunteers. My friend Doug Chin is here. Good morning, Doug.
Good morning, Tim.
How are you?
Good, and you?
Very well, thank you.
Yeah, I'm a relative newbie. I've been counseling for about 8.5 months. So
I remember meeting you at basic training.
Yes. So gone through basic training, counseling, trying to keep up on everything. It's very it's interesting. And it and well, I kind of enjoy it. I like learning all these new things. Oh.
It's like that Chinese curse that you should live in interesting times.
Well, it's pretty interesting now.
Good. And Doug is one of the 8 volunteers that was generous enough to drive down to Olympia and record a short form video for us. If you haven't checked out our Medicare OEP website yet, please do. I'm going to talk about that a little bit when I do my slideshow presentation, but Doug recorded a program for us. We're trying out video this year as a way to try to make some of this technical information more accessible to people. So have you had a chance to see your presentation, Doug?
I have.
Yeah, I think
and
you
thank
did
you
excellent.
for that opportunity to just contribute and just help out.
I think you just did excellent. My friend Connie Taylor is here from King County. Good morning, Connie.
Well, good morning, Tim and everyone.
You and I are corresponding about how we're going to help people who have Kaiser and lost their plan to get back on the path. So thank you for your notes. Yep, I owe you a note back. But If you haven't heard, we have a couple, I mean, naturally, right? This is what happens this time of year. A couple of plans are not continuing into 2026. And so currently enrolled members got their discontinue letters. And in the letter, it provides our phone number because we are the Senior Health Insurance Assistance Program in Washington State. And then so they're calling and asking questions. With Kaiser in particular, and this is a common thing that happens. It's not that Kaiser corporate is discontinuing offering managed care plans. It's just that they're going from having, say, 7 plans to having 6. So people most likely are going to be loyal to Kaiser, choose a different Kaiser plan, and be fine. Kaiser, to their credit, is doing some outreach and education programming. So we'll, after I get myself together, make a connection back to our public affairs department, and we'll connect to the good materials that they have. And I'll send you all a link in case you want to join one of those educational programs that they have.
As long as I have a little bit of a group, I'm going to do this real quickly, but Kaiser in all of the Western county, actually most of Washington, but all the ones in the Western counties they terminated some plans and then they reinstated some new ones that are reconfigured. So in point of fact, first of all, the main message we want to get out to people is don't panic. There are 3 plans instead of 4 that were available, plus a non-drug plan. So the plans are not radically different, and the costs are a little more, but not radically more. The formularies are the same for all plans. All the plans are pretty similar except for copays and stuff. And so we have lots of clean information. And as Tim has pointed out, they've done lots of outreach. I've been outreached, you can't believe. My personal doctor has practically called me on the phone. And so don't panic. If you have Kaiser and you have all of your care there and you like the HMO, then you're panicking, and don't panic. So the plans are easily accessible and they are providing lots of stuff. And if you have questions, we have a really good contact inside Kaiser who is actually extremely accessible. So that communication that went out was possibly the worst communication in the history of Medicare, which honestly is going some. So they're doing everything they can to fix it.
Well, to the I guess to the defense of Kaiser, this is a standard form letter that CMS requires, so they're just being in compliance, but it does sort of scare the pants off of you.
Well, my contact, who is a sales executive, says, I told them 4 things to do, and they did 1 of them, and then they didn't do the other 3. And then they followed up to a bunch of old people, with text messages. And of course, we're all onto scams, so nobody answered any of them.
Yeah.
So they are reaching out. There are clean communications, but just tell people they have a lot of time to make up their mind and that choices are not insupportable. Mostly what they did is they took some of the more costly, less used pieces out of the standard plan so that they could control the cost on the standard plan. And then they give you some rider options. So if you want dental, if you want $4,000 worth of hearing aids, then you can put a small rider on it. Or large rider, depending. But basically trying to control the cost of the plans and giving people some choice. So it's really all in all a good thing. So thank you.
Of course, thank you. No, this is the nice thing about having a small group. We can have a conversation among ourselves and help each other, and so that's great, Connie. You used an expression that is a kind of a technical term in the insurance world. Will you say what a rider is? RIDER?
Yes. So basically, they did this last year and I didn't do it and I'm really sorry. So last year they said your plan, we've taken we still will do a hearing check and that's part of the plan. If you want hearing aids or if you want transportation benefits, then it's $18 a month extra that you can have access to those benefits. And we already bought our hearing aids. And in fact, $4,000 is about 1 set of hearing aids. You're right, Kendra. Actually, it's a little less than that. Yeah, we paid more than that and worth it. So, and I thought, oh, we don't need transportation. So we declined. And my husband wound up in a special what is it, skilled nursing facility, and I paid for 3 ambulance trips to the doctor. So we won't do that again. But it's getting you more involved in the choices that you want. And I guess it's giving people choices so they don't have to pay for things that other people might want that they don't want, and tries to control the plan cost. So really, I think it's a good thing.
Excellent. That's an excellent review. Thank you. I'm gonna stay in pardon me, stay in King County for just a second. My friend Rebecca is here. Good morning, Rebecca. Are you available to the phone, or are you available to the mute button?
Hi, how are you?
I'm
I'm just
good. How are
working
you?
on the
Good to see you.
presentation stuff. Hi, good morning, everyone. Yeah, I'm Rebecca from CISC King County SHIBA. Yeah, and just joined. This is I think this is approaching my 5th years and then to be a SHIBA counselor. It's very exciting, challenging this year, I think.
It is. It is. And Rebecca is also another one of the people who graciously drove down here all the way from Seattle to record video for us. So thank you, Rebecca.
Thanks for giving me the chance. It's a wonderful experience.
I'm happy to hear it. Thank you for that.
Yeah, thank you.
Apologies, a little frog in my throat here. Okay, let me have a couple of our SHIBA staff people introduce themselves. Kim McKenna is here. Kim put a note in the chat. She was appreciating your observation, Connie, about scams. Kim runs our Senior Medicare Patrol Project, SMP. Good morning, Kim.
Good morning. Good to see everybody.
Nice to see you all the way in Spokane, practically
Yes, as
Idaho.
you can see, lovely picture of Spokane behind me. The Spokane River running right through the middle of town.
Right. Yeah. Good to see you. And Kendra, would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure. Hi, I'm Kendra Blythen. I'm the field supervisor with the SHIBA program. I've been doing this just about a year, and I see my role as really supporting the regional training consultants as they do great work along with all of you on this call. Prior to this, I was in research, and so I'm very data driven, and I just so greatly admire the work that all of you have done and that you are doing. And I want to thank you from just deep in my heart for what you're doing in your communities. Thanks.
Thank you. Susie, would you like to say good morning?
Yes, thank you, Tim. Good morning, everyone. My name is Susie Tegman. I'm the new SHIBA coordinator. Some of you might be familiar with Eve. She was previously in this role, and I hope to be half as good as she was. I know she was great, and I'm very happy to be here. So I support Tim. My role is to help onboard the volunteers and also help with the volunteer coordinators. And I just want to say I'm only 7.5 weeks in, so I'm also a newbie. I think this work is very important. I'm very passionate about it. My main priority is to just absorb and learn and support all of you. I'm just very excited to work alongside all of you and to provide the best support I can to our volunteers. So thank you, and that's it for me.
All right. Thanks for being here. Thanks for helping us get started. Ari, good morning. How are you, my friend?
Good morning, everybody. I guess I'll take off my good morning, everybody. I'm the RTC for here in the district of Yakima, Kittitas, Yakima, Benton, Columbia, Walla Walla, and Franklin. So I am the newest RTC. Well, I don't know if I'm the newest.
You are.
I think oh yeah. I'm the newest RTC to the team. I started in August, so I've been here for a few months, but hit the ground running, and we're getting ready to, go forward with the open enrollment. This is my first open enrollment that I'm with SHIBA, so I'm excited for that. But yeah, good morning, everybody.
Good morning. Nice to see you, Ari.
Nice to see you too.
And Anita, good morning. Would you like to say hello?
Yeah, good morning, everyone. My name is Anita Nahosa. I've been a Medicare specialist for almost 2 months, so I'm also very green. But I will say SHIBA is a wonderful program, and I'm very fortunate to be a part of it. It's nice to meet you all.
We're lucky to have you. Thank you. Good morning. Nice to see you. And Samaria, good morning.
Good morning, everybody. For those of you that don't know, my name is Samaria Bryant. This is actually my second open enrollment, so I'm super excited for it. Thank you for all the help that you guys provide to us. I am the other Medicare specialist.
Excellent. Lovely to
So
see
nice
you.
to
I hope
see you.
James is feeling better.
He's feeling better. Now Bella's sick, so we keep
Oh,
passing the
geez.
sickness back and forth. So one day we'll all be good. One day.
Okay. All right.
Thank you, though.
Yeah. Wishing you well. That's hard when the kids don't feel good. That's a hard one. Okay. I'm scanning for people that I've not had a chance to introduce yet. And so I think that Tanya, can we go to you next, please? And Sharon, I'm coming to you after Tanya.
Hi, I'm Tanya Wood, and this is my third year with SHIBA Snohomish, and I'm finding it always challenging, interesting, ups and downs, and there's not a day that I volunteer that I don't learn something new. So thank you, everybody else, and I think I might be the only one from Snohomish today, this morning.
So far, you're the only one. You're kind of representing for the whole crew there.
Kind of.
So
Can I
your
just pop
volunteer
in and say that
coordinator is
can I
Celeste
pop in? Okay.
Virago.
I just wanted to say that I think Snohomish County, the Waterfront Center is fantastic. I'm so glad to have you guys as neighbors.
They are fantastic. So Tanya works with Celeste Virago, our volunteer coordinator on the Edmonds Waterfront Center, is our sponsor for Snohomish County and Skagit County. So nice to see you, Tanya. Good morning, Sharon.
Good morning.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Also good. Thank you.
I'm a new SHIBA volunteer in Clark County and went through basic training earlier this year, and I'll be attending my first event in about another week and a half to give out information and answer questions to with people.
Where will you be going to?
It's at a senior center in Battleground, Washington, outside of Vancouver.
Excellent. So I'm kind of visiting Sharon's territory today. I'm in Longview this morning and going to Cathlamet later this morning to do that kind of outreach that you're talking about. Your local volunteer coordinator is our friend Pam Monahan, and your sponsor organization is the Area Agency on Aging and Disability Services, which is a great partner for us. So thank you for being here. And I feel like my friend Jill is going in and out of the meeting. I don't know what that means. But my friend Jill is here. She works for the Information and Assistance Office out in White Salmon, which is in Klickitat County, so rural South Central Washington. So hoping she can come back. And there she is. Hey, Jill, it's like I conjured you.
Here I am. Thank you so much.
Do you want to say good morning and introduce yourself?
Sure. I'm Jill Parrott. I've been with Klickitat County Senior Services for 21 years and with SHIBA for, I believe, 20. And it just is such a wealth of information to be connected with SHIBA. It's phenomenal. I just am so appreciative of all that the OIC does on behalf of everybody that are so concerned with all of the things they don't know about Medicare. So thank you so much for all that you do and all the help, very specifically for complex cases. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
No, thank you. You and I have known each other for a long time, and you know, if you haven't been to White Salmon, it's lovely and it's very remote. And so I think doing that kind of work in places like White Salmon, right? Our friend Doreen works out in Goldendale. It's even more challenging, right? Because it's essentially a provider desert, and a lot of people lead more marginal lives there. So I'm appreciating your 20 years of service. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, I do have a PowerPoint slide deck, and I am going to use it this morning to provide a little bit of structure, a little bit of continuity. We are recording the program for people who want to hear it again, or for people that couldn't be here. Tanya, so you can have your friends in the Edmonds Waterfront Festival listen to the program if they want to. But in kind of the run-up show, the first up is appreciation. So does anybody have an appreciation that they'd like to share for another volunteer or someone else that you work with?
I'll kick it off. I will. I just want to tell you all first, the volunteers. I just the volunteers as a whole. As we've heard, it's an incredible amount of work, and it is an incredible amount of responsibility. And you have taken it on, and the difference that you are making is unmeasurable. I do truly think that it is a life or death in the eyes of many beneficiaries, and you are saving lives. I truly believe that. And then secondarily, I want to thank the regional training consultant team. We have a full team, and I did just share a map of the area, just so you got to get your feet under you. But here is how this looks. And we have 18 sponsors across the state, and we have 6 regional training consultants. So we have a full team here, and they are remarkable people. I just hope that you're having a good time with them, and I hope you know that we are here to serve you as you are serving your communities. And just thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks, Kendra. How about somebody else that has an appreciation they'd like to share out loud with the group or in the chat? Maiken. Okay, maybe Kendra, could we have your map one more time, and I'll skip to the part of the agenda where we talk about new partnerships. I promise I'm going to put my slide deck up. Okay, so I'm excited. I'm meeting Maiken for the first time. So as in her introduction, Maiken works for the Bellingham Senior Activity Center. We call Whatcom Council on Aging in Bellingham. So new sponsor organization for us, having not had a formal sponsor relationship for 2 years there. So very exciting. I am a big fan of Chris. We've known each other a long time. Chris is the executive director for the Bellingham Senior Activity Center. And even though they have not been formally our sponsor, they've provided just tons of support to us, including letting us use their facilities for counseling on site and helping with local promotional events. So very excited to meet you this morning, Mike, and I'm very excited about the partnership. And I know I'm speaking for the volunteers that are very excited. In my imagination, it's kind of that thing, you know, like where the crab molts its shell and then it's kind of like looking for a new shell. And our little Whatcom County volunteers now have the support of the Whatcom Council on Aging. So very excited for that, and kind of just in time for open enrollment. And then if I travel south on I-5 all the way down through Olympia, my fair city, we have a new sponsor in Lewis County, which is Timber River Connections. We had a great conversation yesterday with Nicole Barr, who is their executive director. Timber River Connections is a small not-for-profit organization. They essentially run the 6 senior centers in Lewis County. So they have this kind of arrangement. Historically, these were managed by Lewis County, but they have like a deal where basically they pay $1 a month rent, and then they're responsible for maintenance of the properties and running all the programming, and they get a lot of support from the Lewis Mason Thurston Area Agency on Aging in terms of congregate meals, and now they've got a contract for home delivered meals. So they're very excited about that, and we're very excited about the partnership with them. And then traveling west to east over Highway 12 and White Pass, which closed early this year, so you can't get there anymore if you were thinking of making that trip. So into Yakima County, Benton, Franklin, Walla Walla, and Columbia counties, we have a new sponsor organization, which is Catholic Charities. Again, we have not had a sponsor organization in Benton, Franklin, Walla Walla County for 2 years. We have had a long-term relationship, more than 20 years, with the Yakima Valley College in Yakima, but they were not interested in continuing. And so Catholic Charities additionally is taking on the sponsorship for Yakima County. And very excited that, as Kendra said, and Ari in her introductions, Ari is now our regional training consultant assigned to that marigold colored space, which is really great because historically Noreen has been covering all of Central and Eastern Washington. That's an assignment that Kim had before she took on the role of the SMP coordinator. And it's just too big a territory, too diverse, too much geography for one person. So we're very excited that we got some support from the legislature to expand our staff, created a second role for a Medicare specialist, which is the role Anita has. And in the person of Anita and Samaria specifically, we're also trying really diligently to improve our language access across the program, both through our professional staff and our volunteer network. And so great to have a couple of people on the call today that are bilingual, bicultural people, and can help us really with outreach and education and training for people who prefer or only have Spanish language skills. So very excited about those partnerships. You got to meet several of our new staff people, including Susie and Anita. We just hired another new person into our team, Tamara Myers, and Tamara was on the call yesterday. So Tamara is going to come into Amy's team as part of the group that does curriculum development. And specifically, she's going to focus on mentoring or peer coaching. So my friend Larry will vouch for me that when I started 4.5 years ago, I said, we have to improve our mentoring program. And we stood up a work group and Larry was part of that. So now I've given Tamara all the artifacts from that project that we did. And she's going to help us kind of reinvigorate that program because, several people said about kind of the genesis of the program, it really was conceived as a peer-to-peer counseling program. So when Dave Aldridge talks about kind of going back to our roots, that's what it means to me. And really in the long term I feel like to perpetuate the program and continue to have that, very high bar in terms of service excellence, it means that we need experienced volunteers like Larry and Dave, Jill. We're going to need you to kind of bring along the newest volunteers, right? Like the Ina who says, I'm a greenie. And so we really want to create some more formality, some more structure, some more support, especially for the volunteer coordinator. So that's going to be the principal assignment that Tamara has. So we're very excited about that. And thank you, Kendra. With that, let me see if I can hop back into my PowerPoint presentation here. Not yet, close. Okay,
While
so
Tim
this is
pulling that up. I did want to just make a quick note that one of the big focuses is reaching those multi-language communities. Anything other than English has just historically been underserved or unserved. And Tim and our wonderful commissioner, Patty Cooter, just truly see the need for that. So we are working on creating a lot of materials in alternate languages. And I know Tim's going to cover some of this a little later, but we do have some great staff that are Spanish certified. Thank you.
Thank you. So by way of introduction, this is our SHIBA Town Hall program. I initiated doing these programs on a quarterly basis when I started, just because I had real concerns that we were a small and shrinking group. We were about 100, 110 volunteers, some of them not fully active year round. And we had some staff turnover, and we were obviously going to have more. And so it just felt very important to me, and still does, that we create this forum just so that we have an unmediated conversation, that I can talk to you directly and you can talk to me directly, and In no way is that a vote of no confidence in your trainers or supervisors. It's just that I want to make sure that it really feels sincere to you, that it's an open door policy. And I really think of this as ideally being a volunteer directed program. And those of us who have the privilege of working in a paid role as the professional staff here, I really feel like it's just an honor and a privilege. And it's a short-term assignment, right? It's I'm my tenure. Many of you were here before I came, and you'll be here after I leave. And I think that's all for the good. So I'm just trying in the time that I have to, be responsive to the concerns that you have, because you're the people that are closest to the work. And equally importantly, honestly, it's just a chance for me to thank you personally. It's very sincere. I started my career in state government 25 years ago doing work like Ari does out in the field, working directly with the volunteers, providing that technical skills training. And I have just a deep and abiding affection for the program, and the volunteers. You all are an inspiration to me. So I wanted to just create an opportunity for me on the regular just to say thank you for your work. So I really do appreciate you a lot. So if you don't already have it, this is my contact information. I'm better at email than phone calls, but it is meant to be an opportunity. As I said, when we were doing introductions, I've been corresponding with Connie. I correspond with many of you. I saw David and Annette on Monday up in Whidbey Island. So again, not a vote of no confidence in the rest of our team, but please feel free to engage with me anytime if there's anything I can do to be helpful for you. So here's kind of the agenda that I have in mind for today. I'm going to give you some updates about what's happening inside our network, including the sponsor and staff changes. I'm going to share with you my point of view about what's happening. I'm going to start kind of at a local level and then kind of pan out more broadly. I'll do a quick review of today's presentation, a quick preview of what I think comes after open enrollment in the first part of next year. And then, the main thing is always just to have ample time for questions and answers, discussion among ourselves. And as much as I enjoy a big group, like we had almost 80 people yesterday, it's nice to have a small group and get to check in with you individually this morning. So thanks for that. Okay, so here's a quick review then. For me, a sponsor organization is the folks that are charged with doing volunteer management. So Maiken's work with the Bellingham Senior Activity Center, Whatcom Council on Aging, Catholic Charities, Timber River Connections. And then we also have community partners that have what we refer to as enhanced outreach contracts. So that would be Northwest Regional Council for James and Shelley on the call today. We're continuing with 4 of our partnership arrangements in King County. So that would be CMAR, Neighborhood House, Asian Counseling and Referral Services, and no, I'm sorry, there's 3. And then we're adding this year, starting October 1st, NAPCA, which is obviously their acronym. So they are the National Asian Pacific Council on Aging. It's a nationwide outfit that has a local Seattle office. And so they're going to supplement the great work that CISC is doing to reach out to folks who need a language other than English and prefer one of the languages from Southeast Asia. They have a terrific program where you can actually call and get help directly in 4 different languages. And like our friend Jasmine is here from CISC, they are what's referred to as a beneficiary enrollment center. So they have a contract with the National Council on Aging to provide services to essentially help people sign up for financial assistance, both with Medicare as well as with housing and food insecurity as well. So very excited to have NAPCA join us. And I'm skipping back to Bellingham again for a second. We've had an informal but super important relationship for a long time with Unity Care Northwest. Laird McHattie is not with us today, but Laird is a staff person at Unity Care Northwest who really did an outstanding job training people who work there. This is a local community health center, and he trained several of the staff and created kind of an inside the organization mentoring program. That's an excellent model. He recently retired but we're going to continue that relationship with Unity Care Northwest and provide a little bit of financial support for the important work that they're doing. And I'll talk some more about our seasonal support team in just a second. So apologies for seasickness here. I'm going to just skip ahead a few slides. So you got to meet Susie and Anita. I did a brief introduction for you of Tamara and her work. As we have in years past, we have a small group of people that we refer to as the Open Enrollment Support Specialist Team, or OESS team. That was the work Samaria did last year before she promoted into a full-time role this year. Essentially, meaning no disrespect, they're the people that are going to handle overflow calls for us. We know, as with last year, the surge of work that's going to come is going to be more than we have capacity for out in the community through volunteers and community partners. And so this team of 4 people is going to help us with kind of those overflow cases, and in places like Lewis County and in Southeast Washington, where we don't have a strong volunteer presence, we'll be handling the referrals for those areas. This year, we're doing something different that's pretty exciting. We just started this week. So we're calling this the SHIBA hotline. So as of Monday, if you call 1-800-562-6900, we have a prompt, and it's going to say something like, if you're calling about Medicare or Medicare open enrollment, please +1. And you'll actually be directed to a group of 5 people who are training specifically to do that work. So we've essentially diverted them from the other work of the OIC so that we have a dedicated presence. And the 2 things that we're principally trying to accomplish there is better quality referrals out to you all in the field, so they can spend a little bit more time on the call, hopefully transcribe a better message, unpack a little bit more about what it is that people are concerned about, and that hopefully will show up in a better quality referral to you. We're also hoping in that space to divert callers who don't necessarily need help right now, right? You all know that we get lots of calls just because it's open enrollment. People get swept up in the excitement of it. And what they're really calling to say is, I'm turning 65 in June and I want to get started early. And that's great. And we're going to be happy to call you in March after we get on the other side of open enrollment, right? So we're going to try to do some screening of those calls so that you get ones that are appropriate and you get a good quality referral. The second thing that we're going to try to do with a little bit more capacity, ideally, is really promote this Medicare Jumpstart Toolkit that we've talked about a little bit. So we're not going to be as forceful as saying you can't have an appointment until you get this and read it over, but we're going to really promote, like, hey, can I send you one of these so that when you get an appointment, you're better prepared. And maybe you'll be able to self-serve, but if not, you're going to have a better quality, more efficient appointment. So those are the 2 things that we're principally hoping that by creating this dedicated group of people, that interactive voice response message right at the call, that we can get better quality referrals to you and maybe set people up for a better personal appointment for you, or if they're calling 1-800 Medicare, or if they're working with a broker, they show up a little bit better prepared for that exercise. And then finally, again, this is an innovation for us. SMU means St. Martin's University, local college here in Lacey. And we have 4 people who are working on their Bachelor of Social Work degree, and they're doing part-time work with us, kind of getting a sense of the casework and the policy work that goes into the Consumer Protection Division. So we're very excited to have them as well. And for me, the thing that would be the best to get out of the time that we have them is really to gather more stories about the work that we're doing. I know many of you are very faithful about recording detailed records in the STARS database, but at the end of the day, I feel like what we need are more narrative stories that can help, kind of make come alive for elected officials and other advocates and folks who are trying to recruit as volunteers, just to get a sense of the kind of palpable sense of relief. You heard in the introduction several of the volunteers talk about just the emotional load that people are carrying, trying to navigate through the Medicare open enrollment. And I feel like the data that we collect through the STARS database doesn't really adequately represent the impact of the work that you're doing on people's lives. So we're hoping to use those interns a little bit to capture some of those stories in sort of a narrative fashion that we can help to present a more dimensional view of the impact of the SHIBA program. Okay, so what does all of this mean for you? This is WIIFM, what's in it for me? So hoping that you're going to experience better support for us for administration for volunteer management, that's Susie. Support for urgent cases and overflow calls, that's Samaria and Anita and the other folks in the OASS team. Better local support for volunteers in Central and Southeast Washington, more Spanish language capacity. That's about hiring Ari into a role, and Anita, Elisa, other folks in our team that will be certified. Mentoring project, that's Tamara, better referrals. I've spent some time talking about that. And then support with local outreach. So Elisa and Brian are in Bellingham, and so they've been helping out with some work that the Bellingham Senior Activities Center does. We've used the interns for some outreach. So as much as they can be helpful at community events, we'd be happy to share them. And it's a great learning experience for them as well. Our volunteer network is growing steadily. So if I go back to when we started a little over 4 years ago, we were about 100, 110 volunteers. We're on the high side of 200 now. So definitely trending to the positive, which is great. It's obviously a lot of work, especially for our volunteer coordinators, and all the areas are doing great with this. And I also just want to acknowledge for those of you who are peers, as volunteers, you're helping us with recruiting, orientation, training, making people feel welcome in your groups, doing that peer-to-peer coaching. So thank you for helping us grow and expand our network. Okay, how about points of view then? Number one is we have created this Jumpstart Toolkit. It is available now, as Kendra said. We've translated it into Spanish and 12 other languages. You can find it now. I think we just did this Friday. You can find a PDF version at the OIC website, and you can also order it in print form from our Department of Enterprise Services. Jasmine Chow, did you get some in the mail yet? I asked them, I did like a pre-order for them to send them to you directly. Has that arrived?
I haven't got it in the mail yet, so I'll be waiting for it. Thank you so much for letting us order the more copies for it. We're really excited to start distributing the toolkit because we're really having a lot of events starting next week.
Okay. Sorry, I'll check in with my friends over at DES. I asked them just to ship them to you directly, so I'll follow up with them.
No problem. No problem. Thank you.
Yeah. And I also just want to acknowledge that we did have 8 different SHIBA volunteers record short form videos for us. So if you haven't checked that out, please do that. We really have great content, I feel like, this year on the website. We had a big project. Lots and lots of people inside the organization helped us a lot this year in the Public Affairs Department, HR, in the Information Technology IT Department, to kind of stand up both our presence with the Jumpstart Toolkit, as well as staffing the program, as well as all the support that goes into getting people started in job and state government, which is a bit formidable. And we have updated a lot of our publications and resources. Last year when we had several plans exit the market, so this was Primera, Regents, Aetna, for those of you who were around, we weren't fully prepared, and we had a couple of technical issues that we needed to correct. So we do have, I'm talking specifically about, we have a publication called What You Need to Know About Medicare Supplement or Medigap Plans. And we did a really thorough review and rewrite of the chart at the back of the book on page 7 that explains about guaranteed issue rates for people that are losing their Medicare Advantage plans. So if you haven't seen that, I'll certainly commend it to you. But please check out the publications, the web pages, and please check out now that we have translated versions of the translated versions of the toolkit in PDF and print form. Please help us to reach the people for whom that's the right way. What do you have for us, Kendra?
I was just wondering, before I stole the screen back, I was wondering if you would mind if I showed very quickly on the website where to find the toolkit and the videos and how to move into another language.
Yeah, absolutely. Please go ahead.
Yeah, I figured it could be helpful. So as you go to this website, and I did just put this into our chat as well, and I will add it one more time. Let's just make sure you all have this link. This is the very specific page for Medicare open enrollment period. And then here at the top, you can do the find how to get a free Medicare open enrollment jumpstart toolkit. And then on the same page, if you scroll all the way down to this, we call it the kind of collapsible menu. You'll see it when you open this page as this, and this is where all of those awesome videos live that volunteers recorded, and you can click expand all, and you can see the various videos that we have in place, which is kind of exciting, I think. And then I just want to show you one more key point. Sorry if that was dizzying. Up at the top of every single page on the OIC website, if you see language, if you click that and pull it down, you will get to the pages in those languages. So for example, hablo un poquito de español, pero no otras lenguas. I only speak a little Spanish and no other languages. So I'm going to just show you the Spanish page. And if you scroll down, you can see the Medicare Jumpstart Toolkit in Espanol. And I'm just going to guess if I went to any of these other languages, scrolling down, you would be able to find that link in that language as well.
Thank you. And if it's not recognizable from that that drop down, if you just hover, it'll tell you what those characters mean in that language. If you just pause on one of those, Kendra, it'll show you what language that's representing. And then, yep, and then down below, you'll see that there's a little caption for describing what that is. Yeah, and obviously, you know, this is a continued project, but the long-term goal is really, you know, number one, to translate all of the material. So what you'll see is if you look at several different languages, there are some, right, that have very few languages represented, or very few materials in that language are represented. And then some have relatively more publications or links or other resources. So, you know, that just reflects the fact that we, and I'm speaking as the agency now, not just as the SHIBA program, but we have some work to do to kind of level up so that all the materials are available in all the languages for people who need that. So we're a bit ahead of the curve in the SHIBA program in translating more of our things, but that's not a point of pride as much as us just trying to remediate something that we haven't done well in the time that I've been here. So I feel like we're making progress, but still a long way to go, and a lot of humility about that. Second thing is, if there's things that you want, if there's materials that we already have that you want translated, or if there's new materials that you want created, that you feel like we can do a better job with materials that are culturally appropriate for the people that you're working with, please let us know. Now that we're fully staffed or moving that direction, we have a bit more capacity, and that is just such a big deal for us in terms of our equity commitment. So please help us with if there's things that we already have an English language version that you want us to translate, that's very straightforward. And if there's new materials that you feel like we should create, or materials that we should amend because they would be more effective if we did something different about how they're represented in print form, please let us know, because we're fully committed to doing that. Okay, let me pick up if I can. Okay, so the for this cycle, the principal way that we're moving these packets is obviously through our sponsors and community partners. We've arranged for them to be distributed at, I'm going to say there's a little over 300 libraries, a little over 300 senior centers. We've done some paid media, some social media, some earned media in terms of advertisements on radio and streaming and social media sources, some print to promote the availability of the toolkits, and obviously access for a SHIBA volunteer or a community partner. As Kendra just demonstrated, they are available now. So if you haven't already, please check them out. On a state view, I know that we're in that kind of purgatory the first couple of weeks between October 1st and October 15th, when you all have received your Medicare handbooks and annual notices of changes are starting to come out, and people are getting notices about discontinued plans. But we haven't yet provided back to you a county by county listing of what we call the landscape of plans. So which MA plans, which Part D plans, which covered benefits, which supplemental benefits. But we are diligently working on that. Amy's not feeling well. She wasn't able to be here today, but she's working very hard on that. We have a check-in meeting with our friends at the Healthcare Authority to download all of their data about the dual special needs plans. So it is in the works, and I will have some more information for you in a couple of days, and we'll try to be as close as we can to that October 15 deadline. There are some new plans coming into the market, so if you're not aware of that, that's going to be a question that you're going to get from people, because obviously there's going to be kind of an avalanche of advertising. No surprise, there are fewer standalone Medicare Part D plans this year, and that's all about the way that CMS is regulating those plans and compensating those companies. Some of you, and Dave Aldrich and I have been communicating about this, there are pretty significant rate increases kind of across the board for Medicare supplement plans. So that's real. And let me just take this opportunity to remind you that the Insurance Commissioner's Office does regulate the sale and marketing of the Medicare supplement plans. That's the one space that we actually do have regulatory authority relative to Medicare. So essentially what that looks like is the plans petition for a rate increase based on the claims experience that they have for their group, and then we either approve or deny that rate, or approve or lower rate, and then the company takes a business decision about whether they want to actually put those increased rates in effect. Sometimes they do and sometimes they don't, or sometimes they'll have authority to say do a 15% increase, but they actually only raise rates 10%. And that's just a business decision they're making about their own market share and retaining enrollees. But about 70% of the market in Washington State for Medicare supplement plans is with United Healthcare, co-branded with AARP, and they have increases on, the 15% range. Mutual of Omaha is a significant player. They have increases that are slightly higher than that. So we did just publish the updated version of the approved Medicare supplement plans. And so you are going to see rate increases, and you should expect calls or questions from people. And so it's the usual, hey, these are standard plans. You have an opportunity to change. I can help you to do that, or help you understand the benefits of it, or consider a lower cost plan or a high deductible plan option. So just raising this for awareness that that's out there. And then, of course, lots of changes for the supplemental benefits for the Medicare Advantage plans. And again, that's all about the changes that CMS is making about the regulations and the compensation. So, I know that, we're approaching 60% of all of our clients now are dual eligible people who have Medicare and Medicaid. And so I know that we literally have people choosing their insurance around which company offers the most benefits on their debit card or their OTC card, right? They're skipping right past things like point of service costs or cost sharing or provider network, because their lives are really that marginal that they're hyper focused on food and transportation and personal hygiene products. So you're definitely going to see a reduction in those kinds of benefits and changes in those kinds of benefits. So as I say, we're working diligently to get that landscape of plans published back to you, but expect lots of changes. So we don't want beneficiaries to assume that what they have now is going to continue into next year, because it almost certainly is not. At the Medicare view, I sent you all a note recently to say, as unfortunate as the government shutdown is, it's pretty well business as usual for us as we move through the Medicare open enrollment period. So we are going to be promoting, obviously, the Medicare.gov website. We're going to encourage people to create an account. We're going to encourage people to use the Plan Finder tool. There is enhanced security this time. So for current account holders, they will not be required to log in with an email address. For people who are creating an account for the first time, they're going to need to use an email address. And if they're using the Plan Finder tool, there will be multi-factor authentication of the kind that you're familiar with, for like logging into the STARS database, for instance. So that's going to be a challenge, obviously. So apologies for that. There is going to be an enhanced provider directory function on the Medicare website. And with that, there is going to be a new special enrollment period. It's a little bit complicated. You probably have heard about it already from your trainers, and we're going to do some more training about this. But the gist of it is that if you're a person who relied on, I got to plug in the computer here. If you're a person that relied on the data that's on the Medicare website about the provider directory for your MA plan, and subsequently it turned out to be an error, and you actually followed through and enrolled through the plan, into the plan through the website, then you'll have an opportunity to reconsider and choose a different plan. Essentially, you could think about it as like the analog to the current SEP, special enrollment period, that we have for people who relied on an authoritative resource, got technically wrong information. We have an SEP for that already. So this is essentially like the digital version of the SEP for a misstatement by an authoritative person. And then finally, the thing I never want to talk about, but I have to talk about every single day, there is this program called WISER, which is Wasteful and Inappropriate Spending Reduction. It's a pilot project that Medicare initiated. I want to, so the way this typically shows up is, why is Washington State participating in this project? And the answer is, Washington State, as in Washington State government, is not participating in this project. What's happening is that the Medicare Administrative Contractor, which is the company that pays claims on behalf of Medicare in Washington State, that's Noridian, responded to a request for applications that CMS put out to participate in this pilot project. They were selected to be one of the 6 states that, starting in January, is going to be part of a pilot project related to 17 procedures that we're going to have prior authorization, not in all cases, but in some cases, and post-claims payment review. And this is, again, part of the effort of CMS to kind of scrutinize claims for services that they feel like are not really contributing to people getting better. Yeah, so publicly, I'm going to send you a blog post that our public affairs team produced, that the commissioner and I collaborated on. My point of view is, I really don't want people to get distracted from open enrollment. Like, open enrollment is the main thing. And so, sort of stay focused on that. And we do care a lot about waste, fraud, and abuse in the Medicare system. We are the Senior Medicare Patrol Project. We have Kim, who is excellent. So I'm for sure not meaning to suggest that this is not an important topic. I just feel like that this pilot is really getting more attention than it necessarily deserves. And having said that, we will be tracking, so please help us out with the data that you record. We will be tracking the incident of delays or denials or other kinds of unfortunate things that happen to people relative to these procedures with their providers, and reporting that data back to our congressional delegation. And if you have questions or concerns, obviously, that's what Diane, that's what Philip, we can help with those complex cases. If it's a concern about fraud, Kim can help. So I just want to acknowledge that this is a thing that you're likely to get asked about. And I'll send you some more details, including the blog post. But from a Medicare point of view, kind of relatively quiet year compared to the past couple of years that we have lived through with the enhancements related to the Inflation Reduction Act. So here's a political view then. As I said, the federal government shutdown, super unfortunate, very traumatic for our colleagues that work in the federal government. So my heart is absolutely with them. There are really no material impacts for the SHIBA program or for the work that we do with your agencies or with you individually in the short term. I really don't have a crystal ball about how long this is going to go on. If it goes on for a very long time, then I would say I would revisit my analysis, but in the short term, it really is business as usual, and we're following it as closely as we can. Pivoting back to state government, most states are required to have a balanced budget year over year. Washington State is one of those. The caseload forecast is very high. The revenue forecast is declining. And so I think we're going to have a very difficult legislative session again when folks come back in January. This is what we refer to as the supplemental budget cycle. So it's meant to be a short session. We should just be making kind of revisions to the budget that we passed last year. But I think that there's a real possibility that there's just going to be a very, very tense budget session this year in Olympia, more than we've seen in a long time. And part of that is just because of the uncertainty about what's going to happen in Washington State in terms of federal funding for programs here. But I want to reassure you that the federal grant funds that the SHIBA program gets all secure, no concerns about that. Okay, so with that, here is my couple of final two slides. I'm going to do a review and then a quick preview. So from where I sit, I feel like it should be a great open enrollment year. I'm looking forward to a big celebration with you all at the end of the year. I think our network is more robust. We have people on our team have more experience. So a whole bunch of people on the call today started 12 or 15 months ago. And so they're just going to be much more experienced and more capable during this open enrollment cycle. As I've said, we've grown our capacity in terms of the number of volunteers, the number of community partners, enhanced outreach contracts. So I feel like we're starting from a very good place from the vantage point of being a week away. Very excited about the Jumpstart Toolkit. We got tons of support from the Public Affairs Department, the Web Services team. It's relatively less disruption in the Medicare Advantage market this year. And having said that, I know the prevailing sort of the zeitgeist is like tons of anxiety and fearfulness, right? And financially, things are very tough right now. So, I think we're just going to get like a lot of referred pain because people are struggling in so many other areas of their lives. They're facing eviction notices and food insecurity, and they're having personal health challenges, and the healthcare system is getting more difficult, scam calls, etc. So I just want to acknowledge that I think those tough times are going to translate into more work and more urgent work for us. And continuing in the vein of kind of forecasting, as I said, I think it's going to be a tough budget year for Washington State. We already are having layoffs, we call reduction in force inside Washington State government. So very painful to see colleagues who do great work lose their jobs or get reassigned to new jobs. But that's real. And I think, honestly, that's going to continue. And that has real life consequences for our clients in terms of things like waiting on the phone or getting a less experienced person, office closures. So I just want to acknowledge that there's this kind of cascading effect that happens when state government shrinks, right? We will continue to build on our success with recruiting volunteers. So, early in the year, January, February, we'll be out there to market again with our direct mail campaign, which has been super successful. And Kim and Jasmine, we worked with a contractor to create a recruitment video specifically about SMP volunteers, and we're working to get that translated into Chinese language as well. So we'll be recruiting both for kind of garden variety, SHIP volunteers, and also people who want to specialize in being SMP volunteers. We will continue to grow our network through contracts and partnerships. We will, I promise, pick up our work again on mentoring. And Elena's not here this morning, but Elena has done excellent work with our instructor-led coursework and online courses, and we'll continue, obviously, to do that. And it's nice to have Kim here to thank her for her great work on building out the SMP project, and Diane and Philip for their work on complex cases. So with that, let me just say again, thank you so much. I don't think we can overstate the impact or exaggerate the impact of the work that you're doing. It really does change people's lives in your communities. And I am very grateful. And let's have some time for kind of questions and answers or discussion, please.
Tim, Connie had asked a great question in chat, and I'm so sorry if you did answer this and I missed it. She asked, is there a place to collect reports of delays, deferrals, etc. that Wiser caused? Please let us know.
Yep, you can send those to our SHIBA inbox. This is the box that the SHIBA staff manage, and that is like SHIBA, the word SHIBA, the letter S at oic.wa.gov. And you can absolutely send them to us if it's, just kind of problematic for people, but also if someone is genuinely stuck or if they need to file a complaint or a grievance, we'll absolutely help them to do that. Hey, David, good morning.
Good morning. I was wondering if you could comment some about the change, not so much for open enrollment, but as of October 1st, telehealth is going away or has gone away. And that's causing a lot of issues for those of us who live remotely or on an island. And it's an all-day project to go see a specialist in person. I know my wife had an appointment scheduled for December, and we were talking about the telehealth issue. She called the office to verify, and they said, yep. And if you want to pay for it yourself, it's $125 for a 10-minute visit. So is there any hope of that coming back, or is that tied to the federal budget?
Both. I think so this is the place where I just have to make the distinction between sort of like folks who are enrolled in original Medicare and folks who are enrolled in Medicare Advantage plans, because Medicare Advantage plans still have a lot of discretion about offering telehealth visits. So as far as Medicare is concerned, for folks who are enrolled in managed care plans, it's pretty well business as usual. But it is the case that there was a bill, several bills to extend telehealth kind of in its current, not quite, pandemic response, but, pretty much more robust to continue that. But because we shut down the government without passing a budget bill or a continuing resolution, it expired September 30. I personally am very confident that when people come back to doing the business of the country through the Congress, that they will figure out, they'll come to a compromise, and we will get restored telehealth for folks in original Medicare. But is that going to happen during open enrollment? I'm skeptical.
Yeah, I've posted something on our SHIBA Facebook page for Whidbey Island, and getting a lot of concern from local residents that, like I say, a lot of us rely on that. It's been a really useful tool. And do you know if that's going to apply to phone calls? That was a specific question I didn't know the answer to. Are providers going to be able to do a phone consult with a client, or is it only the video calls?
So great question. So it's a bit of a technical question, but basically some providers, some calls will still be paid, right? Because Medicare is still real committed to doing things like mental health interventions for veterans, right? Mm-hmm. And so some things will continue to be paid on that basis, and some won't. So it's not as if it's like a complete reversal or abolition, but it definitely is a big retrenchment. So if you like, is Susie still here to take a note to remind me? I think she slipped away. I'll take a note to follow up with you, David, about, so I guess it's like telehealth, MA plan largely unchanged, original Medicare mostly gone, but some exceptions where it still remains.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. But super, super important and super unfortunate that I couldn't get done on time, because it's literally just an artifact of not getting done, just shutting down the government. It could have been done. It would have been done if they had figured out a continuing resolution.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks.
So super aggravating. Yeah. Personally, that's a personal opinion. Super aggravating.
Yes.
I'm a big believer. How about other questions? These are great questions. I always enjoy this. Well, we're almost at time, and I know some of you have other commitments, but since we did our first round of introductions, a couple of people who joined us that I want to just acknowledge. So Rosie Rodriguez-Lee is here. Rosie is one of our regional training consultants. She works with the folks in Pierce County. Rosie, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
A little chilly this morning, but good.
It's chilly, it is. And my friend Scott Opsel is here. Scott, we were talking about you a little bit. We got to meet Miken over at the Bellingham Senior Activities Center. And in the most, loving way possible, I compared your group to a crab that had molted its shell and was looking for a new one.
Yeah, well, we think we found a new one.
You have found a new one, and Miken just introduced herself as the new volunteer coordinator with the Whatcom Council on Aging.
Oh, well, that's news to me. Well, welcome.
Here she is. Micah, do you want to put your face on the camera for a second so Scott will recognize you when he comes down there to have lunch? There you go.
Well, I probably have seen you around the building. Didn't realize who you were yet. So welcome.
And I just want to acknowledge Scott, across that period, 2 years, you're not the volunteer coordinator. Miken's microphone's not working. So the program coordinator, apologies. So across the 2 years that we haven't had a sponsor organization in King County, Scott has really carried the load as peer leader and volunteer coordinator in the group. So Scott, thank you so much for your service.
You're welcome.
Okay, friends, sad for me, but our time is at an end. As I said at the outset, we did record the program today, so I'll work with my team to get it posted. We are going to have one more program like this tomorrow, so you're certainly welcome to come back again. And let me just close again by saying thank you so much for being here, and thank you for the work you're doing in the community. And I'll look forward to talking with you again in person soon. Take care.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.